Hi, and welcome to 647, 6 stories for 7 a.m. because there's a famine of truth in our land. And this happens to be your quick news fix. And the truth starts now. All right, let's take one. 700,000 pounds of meth chemicals was seized in the port of Houston. China was sending this mega load to the Sinaloa drug cartel in Mexico because Trump declared the Sinaloa cartel a terrorist organization. DHS can hit faster and harder in their interdiction efforts now. The chemicals for making meth were shipped in barrels with a value of $569 million. The barrels filled 12 shipping containers. It took 24 18-wheelers to truck the contraband away from the port of Houston by DHS. D.C. prosecutor Jeanine Pirro appeared for a photo op in a DHS warehouse in front of 1,300 barrels shipped from Shanghai, China to Houston. Trump is declaring war on the drug cartels. Let's get some. Take two. 100 peer-reviewed studies show mRNA vaccines accelerate cancer. We all knew this. Here are some of the ways your COVID-19 vaccine may initiate, accelerate, or reactivate malignant processes. 1, genome instability. It triggers mutations that initiate cancer. 2, immune escape. The spike protein binds and inhibits tumor suppressor genes and shielding cancer genes from destruction. Street term, turbocancer. 3, impaired DNA repair mechanisms. The spike protein interferes with essential DNA repair enzymes. 4, chronic inflammation. Spike proteins cause cellular injury and create chronic inflammation, a driver of cancer. 5, dysregulation of the immune system. Suppression of T cells and type I interferon weakens the immune response to fight cancer. 6, RNA disruption. Codon optimization disrupts cell growth and retards healing. 7, activation of the oncogenic pathways. Spike proteins indirectly activate chemical signals fueling tumor growth and metastasis. 8, the vaccine may trigger cancer reoccurrence in patients previously in remission. 9, increased resistance to treatments. Spike exposure prolongs cancer cell survival during chemo. You don't need an organic chemistry degree to see the many healthy young adults gone in less than 6 months from cancer raging through their bodies. This was all a known outcome, and it's outrageous. Take 3. Xi and Putin were caught on a hot mic discussing repeated organ transplants to achieve immortality. This is also a hyper-focus of the Brotherhood of Benevolent Billionaires. More, I want more, says the rich fool. Job in 42:17 says, so Job died old and full of days. Matthew 10:30, Jesus says, but even the hairs of your head are all numbered. God knows the exact number of days you will live. Xi, in October 2024, suffered a severe stroke and collapsed on the spot at a state event in China. He underwent brain surgery, and China restructured its military authority. There are many unverified rumors that Putin is being treated for cancer. Can't verify it. So, Putin, Jesus said in the parable of the rich fool, "Thou fool, tonight your soul will be required of you. And then who will control your power and treasure?" Xi's got over $1 billion from stealing from all the poor folks. Take 4. No guns for trans folks. Possible federal ban being considered for trans folks owning firearms. The question of law is whether people suffering from gender dysphoria are mentally ill. If so, then they should be denied firearm ownership while unstable due to mental illnesses. And when we get leaks about these kinds of meetings and considerations, 2 things are in play. 1, Dems hit this bait like hungry smallmouth bass. And 2, leadership is trying to figure out if they are stepping on a Second Amendment landmine. Remember, Dems consider Christianity a mental illness where we are in crisis every Christmas and Easter. All right, take 5. Google ordered to pay $425 million in class action lawsuit over invading user privacy. A federal jury has ruled that Google must pay $425 million for invading users' privacy by continuing to collect data from millions of users who had turned off a tracking feature in their Google accounts. So says Lucas Nolan of Breitbart. CNBC reports that the verdict delivered by a federal court in San Francisco on Wednesday comes after a trial over allegations that Google accessed users' mobile devices to collect, save, and use their data over an 8-year period, violating privacy assurance, and this is all under their web and app activity setting. The class action lawsuit filed in July of 2020 claimed that Google continued to collect user data even when the setting was turned off through its relationship with apps such as, get this, Uber, Venmo, and Meta's Instagram that use certain analytics services from, ready, Google. During the trial, Google argued that the collected data was non-personal, pseudonymous, and stored in segregated, secured, and encrypted locations. I know I feel better now about this, don't you? And this data was not associated with users, Google accounts, or any individual user's identity. BS. However, the jury found liable on 2 of 3 claims of privacy violations brought by the plaintiffs, although, and this is key, they did not find that Google had acted with malice. No, that's not malice, which would have entitled the plaintiffs to punitive damages, i.e. the real money. So U.S. District Court Richard Seaborg certified the case as a class action covering approximately 98 million Google users and 174 million devices. The plaintiffs had initially sought more than $31 billion in damages. I suspect Google got to the judge to make sure that the finding was that Google had not acted with malice. This dropped the award to less than $500 million instead of $31 billion. You know, when you go up against folks like this, they are extremely powerful. That's why they need to be broken up. They are an oligarchic monopoly, and it's an obscenity. All right. Take 6. Over 1,000 HHS employees signed letter demanding that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. resign. This is an ARMS group study at Health and Human Services. ARMS stands for Advanced Reprobate Mind Studies. So here we go. In this case, the phenomenon of 1,000 people all suffering from ARMS, it's unreal. Over 1,000 current and former employees with the Department of Health and Human Services in HHS have signed an open letter demanding that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. resign as health secretary. Quote, "We swore an oath to support and defend the United States Constitution and to serve the American people. Our oath requires us to speak out when the Constitution is violated." Did you know that? "And the American people are put at risk, but not during mask mandates, not during vaccine mandates. No, we were silent. Thus, we warned President, Congress, and the public that Secretary Kennedy's actions are compromising the health of this nation, and we demand Secretary Kennedy's resignation." Look, I used to work for FEMA. I've worked around these HHS clowns. They are absolutely leftist lunatics, and them defending the Constitution should keep all of us up at night. Kennedy is saying, look, I want this vaccine schedule trimmed down. Big Pharma wants the vaccine schedule increased. There's only one correlation here. As the vaccine schedule has been increased, so has the number of children who end up on the spectrum. Some more, some less, but none of them normal. So we know what's going on here. This is just going to be a bunch of gymnastics and lawyers and Big Pharma spreading money around just like the oligarchs in Silicon Valley do to obfuscate what is obvious to all of us in Main Street, that you can't bring a healthy young child into a doctor's office and have the doctor say, you're behind about 9 inoculations. Let's just do them all right now. And the parents are like, wait a minute, what? You're going to do all 9 of these right now at one time? That can't be healthy for a kid. Well, I have it right here. I have it right here from our government that it's perfectly fine. You know what's perfectly fine? The doctor serving himself because he gets bonused on every one of those vaccines that he sticks in that defenseless child. There is no way that you can administer all that stuff. There's been no tests. Let's do a test on giving 9 vaccines to 100 children and see what happens. Nobody would even volunteer for it. It's, again, an outrage. This is all Big Pharma running over us. And how much of this genocide and maiming are we going to tolerate? They've already killed hundreds of millions of people, and all of that information's being covered up. And we're hoping it's going to come out. And the guy who's been the warrior in the front, taking all the heat, taking all the fire, has been Robert F. Kennedy Jr. I don't agree with his political views. I don't understand how he can be so worried about kids getting inoculated and not worry about kids being murdered in the womb. But you know what? That's the liberal mind. They compartmentalize things. But I'm not going to take away from the guy that he's doing fantastic work, and he is bringing HHS to heal. So when you hear about 1,000 people writing these letters, just ignore it. All this squealing means that the right things are happening. Okay? So now you're going to hear my squealing because this is the end of 647 and it's Friday. You made it to Friday, right? You wankers, you weren't even here all week. Some of you didn't show up till Wednesday. I know what you're doing. But you know what? Go ahead. Have a great time. But you do have an obligation here. I need you to like us, to share us, to make comments, to extend to your copious network of friends the opportunity to experience this kind of right-wing bloviation, but factually based. That's the thing that separates it. So this has been a great week. There have been a ton of blessings. I'm not going to list them all, but I'm telling you, God is at work. And all of what we're seeing is a battle between good and evil. And so we need to be asking God for his assistance, and I'm asking for it for you. I'm asking the omniscient God of the universe, the creator of the world, the person that knows every hair on your head, to bless you right through the weekend, and he will do it. So God bless you, and thank you very much for being with us this week. And God willing, we'll be back on Monday. Take care.